In West Africa, legends speak of a sea goddess so powerful that entire kingdoms once outlawed her worship. She is said to command the waves, drift into dreams, and even seize control of a person's very thoughts. To some, she is a giver of riches beyond measure. To others, she is the voice of madness when neglected. Her name is Olokun, the ocean's mysterious spirit, both feared and honored across nations. But here's the question. If her voice rose from the depths, would you dare to respond? Now settle in, because this is where African history unfolds. Before diving deeper, I have a small request. Viewers from all corners of the world gather here out of love for African mythology, so share in the comments where you're watching from. I'll be joining you there. And if the story excites you, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. It means everything. Now back to the tale. Long before kingdoms rose on the West African shoreline, before drums thundered across the cities of Ife and Benin, there was only water, an endless void, shifting and silent until deep within it a force began to awaken. That force was Olokun. Within Yoruba tradition, Olokun rules the deepest oceans, not just a god but a power beyond comprehension, worshipped and feared in equal measure. In myths, Olokun is never bound to a single form, neither wholly male nor fully female. She transcends gender, existing beyond human limits. Her home lies in waters untouched by sunlight, where forgotten beings slumber and secrets sink forever. Yet from this shadowed abyss, she grants the very things humanity craves: riches, wisdom, or madness. Some traditions describe her as the consort of Obatala, the great creator. Others say she rules alone, sovereign of the deep. But all tales agree. Olokun's moods shift like the sea, peaceful one day, raging and destructive the next. She may bless mortals with treasures or drag them into lunacy. Behind her calm waves, her true nature is unknowable. Centuries ago, along the coast of ancient Ilif, strange whispers stirred from the ocean. Fishermen spoke of vanished nets, boats returning with empty hands, crews muttering nonsense or struck silent with terror. The elders warned Olokun was calling again. Among them was a young woman named Adisua, daughter of a herbalist and skilled midwife known for her dawn walks by the shore. One morning, searching for plants, she spotted something shining beneath a shallow wave. A necklace of coral red beads strung with cowries. But the moment her hand brushed it, the ocean seemed to breathe. Ripples spread outward, though the air was still. From beneath the water came a deep vibration, and then she heard the voice. "Come closer, Adisua." Her chest tightened, not from terror, but from recognition. The voice wasn't new. It felt as though it had always lingered just beyond the noise of the world, waiting for her. That night, she dreamed of a palace beneath the waves, built of silver and coral. At its center sat Olokun, her hair drifting like seaweed, her eyes vast whirlpools swallowing light. Around her moved spirits of gold, their faces hidden by pearl masks. "The land has abandoned me," Olokun declared, "but you will remember. Bring them to the sea. They must give, or they will be consumed by their own greed." When Adisua awoke, the necklace lay clasped around her throat, warm and pulsing with a faint hum. Out at sea, a storm had begun to gather. At the village square beneath the baobab tree, she recounted her vision, voice trembling. The necklace glowed faintly, alive against her skin. The elders listened, but they were split. Elder Oyinlola nodded gravely. "We've angered Olokun before," he muttered, stroking his beard. "I remember when the fish disappeared and 3 canoes were swallowed in a single night. Only blood cooled her rage. Yet others laughed, their pride refusing to bend before the sea. Dreams are nothing more than illusions," someone scoffed. "She craves notice, not truth." Yet by nightfall, the ocean silenced their disbelief. Without a breeze, waves pounded the shore with fury. Foam spilled across the sands like pale fire. Dead fish glittered along the coast, their glassy eyes frozen in terror. The air thickened, heavy with salt and foreboding. That evening, the villagers huddled quietly beneath the silver moon. Adisua stood at the edge of the tide, water curling around her feet. Her hands shook as she lowered a calabash into the sea, lifting it skyward. "Olokun," she breathed. "We are here." Instantly the tide froze. The ocean lay still. From the abyss below she rose. Not fully, only enough. A colossal figure, half revealed, half hidden. Her eyes glowed like drowned stars in darkness. Strands of water and hair unfurled behind her, forming a crown. This time no spoken words came. Her voice pressed directly into their minds. "The covenant must be honored. My name cannot be forgotten. I grant riches, yet claim what is not freely given." The villagers collapsed to their knees. The salt pact lived again. From then on, the coastal people offered the first fish, the first grains of salt, the first bead of every harvest, every craft, every token, placed in woven baskets and pushed across the waves. In return, Olokun granted visions, prosperity, and calm seas. Adisua became Olokun's priestess, the chosen mouthpiece of the deep. A hut was raised near the shore where she communed with spirits and translated dreams. Travelers came from distant lands seeking her favor. But the favor came with laws not everyone obeyed. Years later, a wealthy merchant named Okoyoko, swollen with greed, refused to give his share. He boasted that Olokun's blessings were his own merit, declaring the sea nothing more than water. Laden with gold, spices, and 40 men, he sailed forth on a massive vessel. They never returned. Some whispered Olokun dragged them beneath the waves. Others claimed she let them wander in madness forever beneath the sea, endlessly counting coins that dissolved in their palms. Yet at times when the tide is low and the moon looms round and glowing, villagers speak of a woman walking the coast. Her eyes shimmer faint blue, her necklace vibrating faintly. She bends to the surf, listening, waiting for the next secret. It began quietly. Those who lingered by the shore after dusk started acting strangely. A palm wine tapper named Tayo was found at dawn, kneeling in the shallows, whispering to unseen figures. His mouth was stuffed with wet sand as he muttered, "The coins are..." Watching in silence, the ocean remembered. He never uttered another word. In a nearby settlement, a woman known for hoarding cowries was discovered assembling a throne from shells and driftwood. When questioned, she calmly said, "It's fine. She requires a seat before the storm arrives." The elders once again turned to Adisua, desperate for direction. Olokun had granted them riches, nets overflowing with fish, beads fetching double their worth, even dreams guiding healers toward rare herbs deep in the forest. But now a debt was due. Adisua walked to the shore in search of truth. That night she entered a trance, seated upon the black sand, sketching patterns with salt. The tide crept high and brushed her forehead. In her vision she descended into endless water, where there was no sky or floor, only vast eternal blue. Spirits glided around her, their eyes glowing like lanterns, their bodies fluid like streams. At the core of it all sat Olokun, resting upon a coral throne, her hair drifting like tangled seaweed. "Why do you steal their minds?" Adisua asked. "Because they forget the balance," Olokun replied. "They crave treasure without reverence. They peer into the depths yet refuse to bow." Then she revealed what unfolds when people offer without meaning. When wealth is pursued without sacrifice, she unveiled entire cities. Buried beneath the ocean's weight lay marble palaces coated in coral, crowns dissolving into sand. Kingdom after kingdom, consumed by greed, erased by forgetfulness. When Adisua awoke from her vision, salt water streamed from her lips. Her eyes shimmered with a terrible clarity. She warned the people, "Olokun does not burn with flame, she destroys with allure. She entices the soul. If you take without giving, you will fall for the ocean's beauty and never return." But doubt remained. A band of reckless young men from a neighboring land sought to defy the tale. Armed with fragments of forbidden scrolls, they plotted to imprison Olokun within a sacred jar. None returned. Days later, a monstrous whirlpool appeared offshore, swirling with haunting grace. It spun for 7 nights, and on the 8th morning, the sea surrendered only one thing: the shattered jar. Inside lay a human eye, frozen open, staring skyward. The village soon emptied, its name erased by fear. Even Adisua began to change. Her hair grew pale and silver like foam riding the waves. Her voice carried echoes as though spoken from beneath water. She drifted further from humanity, speaking less to mortals and more to the sea. Some whisper she never passed away at all. They say Adisua walked into the sea one twilight, the coral beads glowing against her chest, and vanished. Not drowned, but reclaimed. Her name lingers on the lips of sailors who whisper prayers before journeys, leaving tokens for Olokun in hope of mercy or fortune. Beneath the dim waters where sunlight fades and silence rules, Olokun still waits. But who is Olokun truly? In Yoruba cosmology, Olokun is the sovereign of the abyss, the keeper of mystery, wealth, depth, and madness. Some call Olokun female, others male, yet most agree that Olokun transcends gender, existing as tide and salt, eternal and formless. Guardian of the deep, she cradles the secrets of humanity and the unborn possibilities of creation. It is said Olokun knows every truth hidden beneath the earth's surface and glimpses futures yet to unfold. Unlike gods of fire or war, Olokun does not roar. she whispers. Her voice drifts in dreams and visions in the eternal rhythm of crashing waves. She does not rule with violence but with seduction, tempting with desire. That is the essence of her myth. Olokun guards treasures not just of gold or cowries but of spirit, intuition, imagination, and hidden power. She bestows wealth, yes, but every gift is a trial. The question remains, will you be consumed chasing her glitter? Or will you remember that the tides are never truly yours to command? In Yoruba tradition, honoring Olokun requires offerings of white fabric, silver ornaments, salt water, and perfume, symbols of purity, clarity, and communion with spirit. Her priests and priestesses are dreamwalkers, visionaries gifted with healing or prophecy, yet always walking the razor's edge of madness. That is her warning. If you plunge too far into mystery without grounding, you may never resurface. This myth did not vanish with time. It crossed the Atlantic, carried by the enslaved, silent in body but never in spirit. Her devotion endured in the Caribbean, in Brazil's candomblé, and among African-descended peoples reclaiming ancestral memory. Even now, fishermen murmur her name before casting their nets. Healers set bowls of water at her shrines, and when the sea rages without reason, elders still whisper, "Olokun is speaking." Do you hear? If this tale has stirred something in you, don't let it sink beneath the waves. Like this video to honor the ocean spirits. Share in the comments which African myth you want us to uncover next. Subscribe for more gods, spirits, monsters, and the wisdom they guard. And remember, not every treasure shines. Sometimes it is salt. And as Olokun reminds us, salt can preserve or it can drown.